from Charlotte, North Carolina, at a combined weight of over 660 pounds, Rody Rob, Adam Bomb, Bionic Brian, the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast.
And welcome to episode 569 of the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. And it is 57 days until you can vote the purge, the vile orange hate monger from the people's house. 57 days until you can do that. And if you don't like that I'm saying that, fuck it, don't watch the show. All right. But we are a professional wrestling podcast, or we claim to be anyway. And tonight we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. And I think Monday Night Raw is a mixed bag tonight. I am Brian. Well, first let me introduce Brian to you. Brian has joined me. Say hi, Brian.
I'm muted right there. Hello, everybody. How are you? Hello, how are you, Robert?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. We are a soldier short tonight. Adam wasn't feeling well, so he checked out early, and instead we have his MOWP shirt on his chair. If you're watching live, the MOWP shirt in the AEW style that you can get at markedoutgear.com using the promo code markedout, one word, 10% off your order there at markedoutgear.com. We have our board going, YouTube live chat board. Bang Bus is on there. He says, thank God sports are back. He doesn't have to sit through Raw. And we have hundreds of others on the board. We'll get to them as we go.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's a crazy fest of fans on there. But so welcome to Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. Brian, tonight for Raw, context is king, man. And here's the thing: I have been in this default kind of mode when it comes to WWE, Brian. This default mode of I am ready to shit on everything that comes out. And it is hard for me to see the good in things because it has been so bad for so long. Do you echo that with me?
A little bit. I know we've said the term on here before, like a battered housewife or you know what, even a battered husband, right? It's 2020 shit.
Right.
But I just kind of, I don't know, at this point I almost kind of expect things to kind of go south. I mean, I hate to say it, I hate that there's probably more things that I dislike than there are like storylines and stuff that I'm invested in.
Right. And that's kind of so we're in full agreement there. But I think tonight with Monday Night Raw, context is king, meaning that a lot of great wrestling tonight in the ring, between the ropes. Actually, some decent storylines on the side, but a lot of repetitive bullshit as well.
Yeah. I mean, Raw Underground specifically is something that I just did not vibe with tonight at all.
No, I'm still not understanding the need for Raw Underground. What's the purpose? What is there? This a long game that we're not seeing the ultimate the ultimate payoff for? I don't know. So there's our kind of opening salvo to Monday Night Raw, and we're gonna jump back to it. I want to start this show with something that I'm a little bit more fascinated with than Monday Night Raw, and that's in I, being a wrestling fan, am more interested in kind of the industry, where the industry is with a lot of different topics, right? I think it's fascinating because it's an echo of life, really. And we always say that wrestling always echoes life in their storylines, but it feels like now, Brian, WWE in wrestling in general is echoing life to like just in their standards and practices. So this past week, former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang, who I'm a fan of personally, I was vibing with him. I'm like, hey, I like what you're fucking selling here.
Hell yeah.
He put out this tweet, and I want to read through this real quick, and then we can react to it briefly. He said, if I'm not Secretary of Labor, and by the way, Brian, I said a while back during the campaign, if he doesn't get the nomination, which I didn't think he would be a perfect candidate for the Secretary of Labor.
Sure.
All right. And
you know more about it than I do.
I am a junkie. Yeah. He said, I'm pretty confident I'll have his number or her number to talk about the ridiculous classification of WWE wrestlers as independent contractors while controlling their name and their likenesses for years, even for something as benign as Cameo. Come on, Vince. You've already deprived the folks breaking their backs for you of health care, security, recovery time, retirement benefits, and fair treatment, i.e. licenses and royalties. At least let them make a living off their own names. Many of them need it. I grew up a wrestling fan, and it's been sad to see so many of my childhood heroes pass away early. I'd feel better knowing that they and their families were being fairly treated. I look forward to doing what I can for the next generation of performers. I know how tough it is. It said, Vince, you better hope your old friend Donald wins, because change is in the air, and changes are long overdue where your corrupt labor practices are concerned. It would give me great pleasure that people know Andrew Yang. Okay, and then he says, for all the wrestlers who know you're being misclassified but are reliant on staying on Vince's good side, even because WWE might hire you, I get it. Our job is to make it easier for you to get what you deserve without risking your career. All right, so that was his tweet. And that was in reaction to, Brian, Vince basically pulling the curtains out under everybody's additional income, saying, I own you, your WWE likeness. I own your name, your real name, and you are not allowed to make a red fucking cent from a third party without my knowledge or without my approval.
I mean, I don't even know how he even thinks that he can do this. I mean, there's already been WWE contracted superstars that are saying that they're not going to do that. Like, they're not. Paige, for example, she said that she's just switching. She's not getting rid of Twitch. She's just going to switch it to her real name, Soraya. And I guess that's that. And he's gonna have to like it.
Right. Well,
I mean, I don't know. And one of the other things too that I heard, that this all stems from Lana. Apparently, she was the straw that broke the camel's back. She had a deal with, I think it was Bang energy drinks, and for some reason, I guess that was the thing where, I guess Vince wanted a cut of it, because that's a pretty significant company.
Right.
You know, that's well known. But I really don't know how he's going to get away with doing this, because it's not fucking fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. And what he's doing, basically, it's not doing anything legal here. Not necessarily illegal either. But what he's doing, he's saying, if you do these things that I'm telling you not to do, I'll just fire you. You know, and that's my prerogative, which is fucked up. And as a family member of people who are on the main roster, I know firsthand the frustrations that they feel. Like, I can say that a certain wrestler had a conversation with Red Solo Cup, and they were ready to pull the trigger on a promotional deal. And WWE came in and said, the fuck you are. Ugh. You know? So I know firsthand that this is a fucked up situation. And I don't understand how wrestlers, how the talent on there, at a certain point, if you go back in history of the labor movement in this country, Brian, other bosses in industries, the car industry, fucking all the labor industries, did the same shit until eventually all the employees were like, you know what? Fuck this, man. We're going to stand arm in arm and we're not going to do shit until until you give us what we want. Or you can do this by your fucking self. Right. And
not only that, I mean, now that, and I know it coming from me, whatever, I know I'm an AEW mark or whatever, but I mean, now that we have AEW, they're another full-fledged, I don't care what anyone says, but they are another major league brand in the United States. So now that all these people have this other option where they have a lot more control, they still get paid like a good amount of money. It's like, why wouldn't you do that? Why would you put up with all this shit when you have to like change your name, change your gimmick? You can't do third party, you can't take income from that doing third party stuff. It's just it's just hard to really enjoy like what's on TV when they have all this other stuff in the background going on.
Yeah, and it goes to a lot of things. It goes to also, usage. We look at tonight, Mustafa Ali, nowhere to be found. We got two full segments of the Hurt Business, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. Two full segments of the Hurt Business, but no Mustafa Ali. We got back-to-back weeks with Natty and Lana tagging up against Asuka and Mickey for some reason, who are going to fight next week, but no Mustafa Ali. And I'm sure I'm missing other names, but there's so many other people out there that it's like, don't tell me that COVID has killed your roster and you can't get people on TV. You can. They're there. They want to have time. They want to wrestle for you, Vince. They want to go on TV and perform for you at their highest level. That is what they want to do. That has been their dream since they were this big. And you were just, and you were saying, no, even though I got a tag, I have a match next week between Mickie James and Asuka. for some stupid fucking reason, I'm going to tag them 2 weeks in a row against Lana and Natty. I don't get it. I don't understand. This is not what we want. This is not what we're asking for. As fans, this is in no way making me watch more. And with AEW, like you just said, Brian, with AEW in the picture, and I think, and we talk about it all the time, I think AEW has a lot of flaws they have to fix.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think some of those flaws hold them back from being an elite, all pun intended, an elite brand to compete with WWE. Although I think they could strike heavy right now and draw some blood from WWE. But if you're going to tell your talent, fuck you, you can't make a living the way that the other ways that you can. If you're going to tell your talent, you're my bitches and you're going to do what the fuck I say no matter what, then when those lucrative contracts are up, they've made some money. They're going to go, Tony Khan,
yep,
and Cody, hey, man, what you got? You got something for me? I'll even take a pay cut from WWE. You know why? Because I get benefits. I'm W-2'd. I'm going to get time off. The schedule might not be as rough. And I'm not working for a fucking asshole.
Right. And actually, there were a lot of rumors now that are just recently coming out about AJ Styles was apparently, I guess, contemplating or teasing the idea of potentially leaving WWE before he signed that last contract and going to AEW. Apparently, it was a lot realer than he led us to believe, or anyone really led to believe. I mean, obviously he signed there now, and I think it's a 5-year deal, and he said that he's going to retire with WWE. But I find it interesting that, I mean, he's one of the guys that he's been like the company guy for the past few years, and if he's that close to be leaving, who's to say that anyone else on the roster isn't?
Well, I think it also comes down to this, Brian, is that it's you also kind of want to end your career having fun, right?
Yeah,
just kind of not being in a sucky situation. I'm not sure. I apologize real quick to the live board. Apparently, YouTube has this new streaming way to set up your streams, and it did not sync up with what I set up for the show. So we got all these people chatting with us, and I didn't fucking know they were there. So Stykla is here, and Vince or Bus is there. So anyway,
yeah,
good to have you guys.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. Well, I figure it out. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I'm on the NXT one. It says NXT Iron Man Championship. I was going to text you.
I don't know. If you can change it while we're in mid show, Brian, go ahead and do it.
Oh, yeah. Let me see.
See if you can edit it. It's fucking YouTube, man. Shit wasn't broken. Why you fucking changing shit? And I don't want to get into it. I don't even fucking get into it. Fuck it. No. Okay. Let's talk some wrestling. We've bitching about everything. I do want to mention before we get into Raw, SmackDown. I did watch some of SmackDown only for the reason that Sasha Banks apparently got attacked by Bayley finally. So after 3 years of us sitting here saying, it's time to turn, it's time to turn, it's time to turn, it's time to turn, she finally turns.
Finally happened.
Finally turns on Sasha, setting up what I guess they're going to put. I thought they would have held this till Mania. It looks like they're going to push this a lot earlier than Mania and probably won't even make it to Mania. I think that's a shame. I think that's a miss of a great match at Mania. Although I have been bitching about Brian about how it's taking forever for them to get to the payoff here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it seems like they've been like teasing this match ever since they got called up from NXT. Like I know we've kind of seen it sort of, but now they're finally doing a full blown Sasha face, Bayley heel, and at least they're finally doing it. I mean, thank God. And
I like it. It's one of the better things I think WWE's got going on right now. I would like to see them use the storyline though, that Bayley basically says, you know what, I was using you for the tag titles so I could be greedy and have more. But now that the tag titles are out of the picture, now that we're no longer in contendership for them, I don't need you anymore. And that's kind of the angle I'd like. You were never my friend. I used you the whole time. That I think that would be a really good storyline. But just don't over emotion the shit, because that's what they always tend to do with the women. And I think that's just basically, frankly, I think it's disrespectful to the women. Just to be 100% honest there.
What's disrespectful?
They always overly emotion all the storylines. I know women. I'm married. I have 2 daughters. Women are emotional creatures. That is just a fact of life. That doesn't mean that every storyline that they have has to be touchy-feely, sad emotion. It's I'm crying, I love you, why are we fighting? It doesn't need to be that. Sometimes it can just be, I want to be the fucking champion. I want to be the best. I'm going to whoop your ass if I need to. Women are like that too. I remember the first time, probably in my late 20s, maybe early 30s, when I finally realized that the women are just as sexually deviant as men are. So women have that in them too, just to be competitive and fierce. Strike Leather, well, the way Bayley used the chair wrap around Sasha's neck could keep Sasha out for a few months. That's a good point. Stike. They could set it up as an injury and it holds off, but I still don't think. I mean, we're talking, what's that? 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we're talking 7, 8 months until Mania. I don't think it's going to hold her out that long.
What about Survivor Series?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's probably going to be a Survivor Series thing. At the most, at Rumble at the most.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And unless Sasha comes back at Rumble, wins the Rumble, and then faces Bayley for the title at Mania. Now that could be a way you could push it there. So there are possibilities. So I shouldn't get too strung out on my opinions there.
Right.
Let's see. Our Sasha gets drafted to Raw. Maybe. Let's run through Raw here, kind of bit by bit, and I want to start with the Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre saga. Brian, again, mixed bag. Context is king. This is one of the things, and if you disagree with me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. This is one of the things, though, on Raw that I actually kind of enjoyed, was the constant stalking and melee of Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
Yeah, Randy always feels to us fans to be lazy. Lazy in the sense that his matches are so the same. Paint by numbers, Randy match, vintage Orton. And that his promos are all kind of, I'm here, I'm doing a promo because I have to. And you never really see anything kind of extra from Randy. And the last time I really remember anything extra from Randy was like that shitty house fight he had with Bray Wyatt, right?
Yeah, when he lit it on fire. And
shit. Not the greatest thing in the world. But tonight, we had a lot of extra Randy. We had Randy put the work in, took the bumps, and told the story. And so did Drew. So I want to get your reaction on this, and Board, I want your reaction as well on this. What did you think about the Randy episode tonight?
No, I liked it. You actually hit it on the head when you said that, a lot of the times he doesn't seem like he's very motivated or anything, but he even said in the promo that he's going to jump through whatever kind of hoops he needs to get that WWE championship again. And I like that he's not the baby face Orton that's chasing the belt. I like that he's the asshole. He's the legend killer. He's the guy that just wants to fucking hurt people, knock their teeth out, punt kick them, and leave, I guess.
Right.
Almost kind of like, who's it? What's Roman's new shirt? What is it? Wreck everyone and leave? Is that what it says?
Show up and win, or
show up and who? I don't know. But, I don't know. Honestly, I really did like this Orton promo. I mean, when it seems like he's got a story and something to sink his like teeth into, I feel like it works. And with this one, I like the story. And like you said, I mean, throughout the whole episode, we had Drew just kind of stalking Orton and then finally giving him a couple of the Claymore kicks.
Sure.
Which the Claymore kick, it's a weird thing to kind of come out of nowhere. I don't know. I don't know. RKO makes more sense, but I'm just being nitpicky and petty. But
I think you're being nitpicky and petty on that one. Yeah. I think it's a good offensive move that can strike fast. To the unwilling or unknowing recipient of it. So look, there's a good point. There's, chalk it up on the board. The problem, and there's got to be a lot of good points tonight on Raw. I'm going to be honest with you. The problem is context is king. This is 1 week. 1 week surrounded by a shit sandwich of shows and a shit sandwich of storylines and a weak use of the current talent on the roster. So let's see here. My favorite part of Raw was Drew and Randy, says Stike. And I may be alone, but I love Mysterio. I'm going to get to Mysterio. We're going to get there. So real quick, profits. So let's go to the Hurt Business here. Apollo, Ricochet, Cedric start out versus Hurt Business. So we got a 6-man tag right away. So we're going full Teddy Long, a la player, a la AEW midcard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then And we'll get to Street Profits after in a moment. I know I just brought that up. Sorry. Adam's not here. I usually play off Adam. We're working on this. But then we later have an 8-man, right? Why? I love, Brian.
Yeah.
I love that Cedric went heel. I like that he joined the Hurt Business. Mm-hmm. I think he needs that. I think it's good for him. I think it brings, and it also creates a more stable foundation for this faction moving forward. Right?
I'm with you.
I mean, most of the most successful factions in the past are 4 or more. It's just beyond. I mean, there's exceptions, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Evolution,
Well, Evolution had 4. Well, there was the Jersey Triad in WCW. I mean, yeah, there are of course exceptions.
Right, but you look at DX, you look at Nation, you look at the 4 Horsemen. I can go on and on, but most of the ones that were 4 or more got to legendary status. So I think that's a good thing. I don't understand why they couldn't do the Cedric turn in the first match. Why did they have to bring the Raiders into it?
Because they needed to be even odds, man. 8-man tag, 4-on-4.
But why couldn't they just do it when it was 3-on-3?
Because he turned his back on them. But right? Cedric turned on Ricochet during that match or after.
Oh, you know what? I'm turned around here. I'm fucking turned around. I'm sorry. I'm turned around. Okay. Why do it this week? Why did you have to do a second segment within this week? I guess that's what I meant to say. Yes, they turned.
Oh, okay.
I'm flipped. They did turn the other way. I'm wrong. They brought the Raiders in to even the numbers. I get it. Right.
It is a little uncharacteristic that they would do all of this in the same episode. Usually they'll, Cedric will turn this week, and then next week they'll set up an 8-man tag match or whatever kind of tag match where Ricochet and whoever else can get their redemption. In this case, it was Apollo Crews and Ricochet. They had to find some tag team partners to even the odds. I mean, Viking Raiders is kind of a random one, but I'm glad to see that they're finally over the whole comedy thing, because to me that was getting kind of old. So it's nice to see them actually in like a real kind of a storyline that actually means something.
If they feel like tools, go out there and do something.
I mean, a little bit. It's better than what it was, which is terrible. I hate that that's what where I'm at right now. It's better than what.
It's better than what it was.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just, it's rough sometimes.
Again, Mustafa Ali. You couldn't have done one of these matches and had Mustafa have a match with somebody in place of it. I don't. And I'm not. Listen to me, everybody. I am not a Mustafa Ali mark, right? I like him. He's a good wrestler. He's a good talent. I enjoy seeing his matches. I'm curious to see his, what his ceiling is, where he's going to move, what his future is in the company. Sure. I'm just using him as an example, Brian, that you're doubling up here with this, and you could have put somebody like him in there. Where's Jinder? Jinder.
Where's Jinder? Where is Jinder?
I mean, I'm not a huge Jinder fan, but you couldn't have Jinder in there doing a match? I'm just completely fucking confused by that. Did you ever get the stream fixed?
Did I ever? Well, so I fixed the title. I can't change the picture right now.
No, fuck. All right,
I can't change the thumbnail, but
it is what it is. Oh, Jinder got injured. Okay, well, I was making a broader point, but I appreciate that. Perfect 11 on the board saying, "What's up, guys? What's up? Perfect 11. Can't wait for when they do Ricochet versus Cedric. The people who watch main event are gonna go wild." Wow, Bus. Wow, good job. All right, so Profits versus Andrade and Garza. Garza makes an unexpected exit from the ring. I didn't really understand this one. I mean, I know they've been beefing, but he just leaves. There wasn't kind of a prerequisite to this, and just kind of like, fuck it, I'm out of here. Did I miss something?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it seems like they can't. For months now, they haven't been able to get on the same page. I mean, that's kind of what it is. Andrade was giving orders to Garza. Garza wasn't having any of it.
Yeah.
And he just walked off. I think they're just still not on that same page. I don't know. I mean, this has been stretching out for a while. I mean, I don't want to say. I do like. I almost sound like what's it called? Like I'm contradicting myself. But with this, I do like the long term booking that they're doing with it.
It just feels to me. It feels like it's another way for Vince to go. You know what? How can we get the Latinos to fight each other again? Let's break these two up and make them fight each other. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That's what I was going to say that with the Hurt Business too. Like we were saying about that too. That it seems like they're keeping the
It's so segregated. It is.
Right? A
it's
little bit.
Yeah.
Right? A little bit.
We need busing in fucking in WWE, man.
Jesus.
I don't know. Cesaro and Knox show up to officially make the challenge to the Street Profits for the brand versus brand invitational next week. Noteworthy line here. Montez Ford says, the Bar 2.0, Cesaro, you've had so many partners who should get an STD test.
That is pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. So we're going to see that next week. I'm curious to see how that's going to go. Montez had a good match against Rollins a while back. That singles match. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who'd you say?
Montez. Montez did.
Oh, Montez?
Yeah. He had a good match against Rollins back.
Okay, yeah.
And Dawkins has shown a lot of growth in the ring as a wrestler. Cesaro and but they are very generic in the ring on what they do. Let's be honest. Drop kick, splash, and a couple other things.
Punches.
Cesaro and Knock, Knock being a heavy striker, Cesaro is pretty diverse in what he can do in the ring too. So I'm curious to see how as this match plays out. I'm curious to see, and I mean no disrespect by this, but if the Profits bring down Knock and Cesaro as far as in-ring, their in-ring, their move sets and what they might usually show us in the ring, or if Profits will elevate to match the moment. We've seen them do that before.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely elevate. It's almost impossible, I feel like, to have a bad match with Cesaro and or Nakamura. So I think this will definitely be one to watch. When they announced it, I was fucking stoked. Yeah. Usually I hate when they do the cross-branded stuff, but right now, I mean, I feel like there's very little kind of interesting stories that's going on. So at least I know this isn't going to last forever, but at least we get it next week, and it's definitely going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree. Stigler says, I hope Profits and Cesaro Shinsuke lead to the merger of the tag team titles in division. That's not going to happen. You just let it go. Let it go.
Are they? So wait, it's for the titles next week, right?
No, it's just a match.
Oh,
just a match.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, and 11 brings up a point here that I was thinking as I'm watching this. I'm thinking, he says, why are they having a brand versus brand invitational when their next pay-per-view is Clash of the Champions, and the one after that is Survivor Series? This kind of takes away from the excitement of those two events, right? Yeah, it's true. It's like you've got two pay-per-views coming up right now on the back burner, are getting ready to fucking launch, that are both set directly for this kind of thing.
That's a little weird.
It's lunacy, man. Vince has fucking lost his mind. In so many areas, Vince has lost his fucking mind.
What if they did something more like I take it, I mean, we've been doing this podcast for how long? I take it you don't watch soccer. You don't watch European soccer, do you?
I only watch the World Cup.
Okay. Well, so they have something over there like the what is it called? Fuck. Oh, the Premier. No, not the Premier League. I'm fucking this
Premier
up.
League.
But what if they have like a time when both rosters were like cross-branded? Like, so if they did it like from like September to December, because they have all these pay-per-views that are cross-branded, why don't they just say, all right, we're merging for these months, and then all the other months they can go and do their separate thing if they're going to continue on with the brand split. But
I think Hunter, you see on the screen right now, at Marked Out BT, he's open for a job as a writer. I think he just pitched you one. You should go ahead and hire him on. That's what I'm thinking.
It's true. I'll send you my resume.
Yeah. Iron Man says wrestling and politics don't mix. Yeah, I disagree. I think they're very much entwined. And whatever. Let's see here. Truth was in the restaurant, and some ninjas showed up, and that happened. Peyton Royce had a match with Billy Kay, solo versus one-on-one. The end of the Iconics, the end of an era. The match seemed very understood by both women to me. I don't want to say choreographed, but I want to say understood. They knew exactly what they were doing when they were doing it. It didn't feel organic, didn't feel like a fight. It felt like almost a ballet show of the two.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of it too, I mean, they hugged, right? Royce helped Billy Kay up. Yeah,
no, I mean that's kind of beyond the point I was making. I agree with that. They ended amicable, but just the match itself, I expect big things from Peyton. And I'm not trying to dog Billy. I just don't think they're going to push Billy. I expect big things from Peyton, and that kind of her debut into the solo world of the main roster, I felt was extremely understood. I guess the best way I could do it. They knew that, okay, we're going to do this move and that move and this move and that move and this move. And it was too smooth, too fluid. It was not an aggressive stance. So fine match for what it was. Not a big deal. Moving past it. Let's see here. Keith Lee and Randy Orton, good match. Keith Lee was going to take the loss. Drew jumped in. We already talked about it. Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. KO.
I did like that they changed.
Yeah.
They stuck with. They got rid of those weird shorts that Lee was wearing. At least he's back to wearing those the biker shorts.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, he only wore those one night.
It was just his first night. Yeah, and they tweaked his song. So
doesn't sound so shitty.
Right.
Yeah. It was a limited song.
Yeah. Hey.
So let's just do it. Let's talk about it. KO and Alistair, WWE Underground. For what it was, it's fine, right? If I'm tuning in to USA on Monday nights to WWE Underground, if that is a show I have set to DVR, it's fine. It's what it was. It's not. I'm watching WWE Raw. I'm watching professional wrestling. And I've said it every show since this abomination has started. All you are doing is devaluing your in-ring product by doing this shit.
It's true.
So,
and that they're kind of making everyone to believe that, because all these fights, the last like 35 seconds to 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. And it's like, well, if these ones are so short, why are the ones that I'm watching in the ring, why are these taking 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes for
right.
guys to pin one another? Like like you said, it devalues what's going on in the ring.
Yeah, and look, I agree perfectly. And he says, I have to admit, Black and KO made me want to watch. I wanted to watch the Underground segment too, because I'm curious how it was going to go down. I'm not going to lie there. But how do you follow this? Now, I know that, what's his name? Dabakato or something like that? Dabakato.
Babatunde. That was his old name.
Right. So I know he made a thing there, and I don't know if they're going to continue with that. But my problem is you have this all-out fisticuffs brawl with KO and Alistair in the Underground, and now you're gonna move it to the ring. So now they're gonna finish their feud in the ring. Is that? So we're supposed to go, oh, so they're going to have, as you just said, Brian, they're going to have a 10-minute match in a ring at a pay-per-view after they did that. Why wouldn't they finish their feud in Underground? And if they do that, why are you taking away from me the opportunity to see KO and Alistair in a fucking match?
Yeah, and it was a little weird. I got to say, it wasn't very like how they've been portraying Alistair Black, but to see him in the Underground just wearing like basketball shorts or whatever, MMA shorts or whatever they were. They almost look like basketball shorts to me, but I know he's a big MMA guy outside of WWE, so I don't know. It was just still very weird because he's supposed to be this very like dark and ominous character. People were comparing him to fucking Undertaker at one point, and now he's doing WWE Underground. I don't really get it.
I don't get the whole concept. I'm still very confused on what the goal. I feel like everything you do, if everything you're going to do on Raw or on your TV program or on your wrestling promotion, everything you do should have a reason behind it. We don't do anything unless there's a reason behind it. And Underground for me feels like something we're going to do this with no reason behind it. One week we're going to have Hurt Business go on there and hurt a bunch of people. The next week we're going to have shitty dancers dancing to shitty music. The next week, we're going to have KO and Alistair having some fucking melee with each other. And next week, we're going to have fucking smoke machines and giants outside the door. Why? Why are we doing this? If they can give me a solid understanding of why they are doing WWE Underground, then maybe I'll buy into it. But they're not giving me that.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I see them like trying to build new people, like we said with Babatunde or Dabakato, whatever his new name is.
Yeah.
Like with him a little bit, and I guess maybe who's the other guy? Riddick Moss. They were kind of pushing him a little bit too. sort of, I guess, as much as he can on Raw Underground. But still, I really don't know what the long game is. Like you said, like this just seems like it's just very, very short-sighted, and I really don't know. Like, what are they going to have like some sort of title for Raw Underground? Like, how far are they really going to take it? Or is it just going to be, because right now it just feels like filler, right? It just feels like there's really no rhyme or reason why they're doing it. Why are they all there? How come they're there and they're not in the ring having these matches, these normal matches? And Shane on commentary during the whole time is just getting very, very old to me.
There's just there is plenty of talent. There's plenty of talent to showcase them in matches. If you were short on your main roster talent, right? If you didn't have everybody there, you have Sami Zayn, which is back now, but people like that are like, I don't want to come back yet. Fucking COVID, whatever. Fucking fire me. Whatever. I'm not coming back yet. If you were having problems, you have an entire roster of NXT talent. Some that could jump up to Raw, and you could showcase them that way. And then when the world stops fucking burning, maybe then you could bring some of the old names back in and keep some of the people you brought up, and then maybe get rid of some of the others. I don't have all the answers, but what I do know is they have the talent, they have the opportunity to do something on Monday besides just, as you said, Brian, fucking filler. Welcome Will Wagner to the board.
Yeah, what's up, Will? I like what Perfect 11 said. He said, I do agree that Underground absolutely takes away from what WWE is trying to do with the proper in-ring product. It's why you never see porn playing at a strip club.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I'm not going to. Yeah. 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 I don't want to see the full thing. I can do that at home. That's
right. Right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. Let's get to the real quick. Riot Squad versus Shayna Baszler. They beat her because Nia Jax distracts her. And then Riot Squad versus Nia Jax. We get the pin. We should have been a pin. The ref was like, when should I start counting? And then the lights went out. And we get Retribution. Clearly, Dominic Dijakovic, clearly. And not just, you couldn't hear his voice because it was all muffled, but in every body motion that he made was 100% Dominic, right? Dijakovic.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And you've got a front row fucking view of Mia Yim's eyes staring at the camera. Very beautiful, unique eyes staring at the camera.
Really? You thought that was her?
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a sense of doubt in my mind on those two. The Chelsea Green rumor, I'm not sure. Maybe. I think the other one was a little Ember.
I've heard. Oh, that's a good one. I've heard actually Vanessa Bourne. She was a name that was thrown out there too, but I don't know what's going on with Ember. I know she was hurt for a while. I don't know what the timetable is on when she's supposed to come back.
I don't know. I don't understand the concept of Retribution. I don't get, because the promo was, you left us on the wayside. We've been eating the scraps. Dude, you were just on NXT a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't part of the people that got fired. You haven't been on the indie circuit. I don't. What are you retributing about? What's fucking wrong? I had too many opportunities in NXT, so now I'm pissed and I'm gonna be Retribution on WWE Raw. Why?
Oh, Stike also says it could be Kaden Carter. You're a Kaden Carter fan, aren't you?
I am. But she's. I think she's. Who is it? It's not Shotzi. She's been working with somebody. Somebody help me. She was with her on Tuesday. It was Kate. She's been working with Ninja Warrior chick.
Yeah.
Adam's favorite.
What is
Casey?
her name?
Casey Catanzaro.
Casey Catanzaro. Yeah.
They've been doing a little something together. So I don't know. I don't think so. I just look. I think this is just Vince trying to be. Make them rioters because there's rioters out there, and we want to push the rioting narration for our Lord and Savior.
Antifa.
Yeah, right. Antifa. Ooh. So the goal of Retribution seems horrible. Now, if it was a bunch of wrestlers that had been fired in that big layoff, when Vince did the Thanos snap and fucking laid everybody off, that would be okay. I get that. That's cool. I would have been down. I would have been like, oh, okay, this is cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
right.
Where's this going to go? But not somebody who's been on contract at NXT for years and has been highlighted for years and now they're just getting their normal bump to the main roster. That
right.
The fuck are you? Are you mad because they didn't let you eat at catering? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Iron Meds on the board has a good point. He says whoever it is, no one's going to be pleased. Like whoever the payoff is, when they finally reveal their identities.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't know. Like you said, like if it's just all NXT people that are just still contracted, none of the ones that got fired or anything. I mean, so what? Like what? It's just it's very random. I know storylines don't have to cross over from NXT to, like, if you're an NXT wrestler and you get promoted to Raw or SmackDown, usually like your character changes a little bit, or they'll tweak stuff, and they'll just kind of stop storylines that were going on in NXT. I wouldn't be surprised if it is fucking Dijakovic, Yim, and just kind of they're not lackluster wrestlers. It's just a very random group that they're putting together.
Yeah, and look, I completely agree with you, Iron Meds, that Brian just read, that no one will be pleased. And we won't be pleased because of what we just said, because the story makes no sense at all. Even a little bit. Horrible. Will Wagner says, it's got to be Vince. It was me, Thunderdome. It was me all along. Fucking Vince. All right, let's jump to the Mysterio Buddy Murphy match. And Brian, I have been loathing this rivalry in this feud. I have not been wanting to engage with it, and I've obviously been forced to do so. It has drawn on and on and on and on, and there were moments, right? There have been moments within this long-winded fucking feud of the moments when fucking Dominic got just beaten to a pulp, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a moment. Dominic in his match with Seth. Dominic looked pretty good.
He did.
That's a moment. Tonight, I'm going to be honest, as much as I have hated, and I mean hated and just hated this entire storyline, tonight's match with Buddy and Dominic, as green as he is, was a good match, Brian.
I enjoyed it too. To be honest, I mean, I definitely had my, I was nervous about it going into it as well. But and the fact that his whole family was out there, not just Ray, but who was it? His mom, and was that his sister or his girlfriend?
Yeah, his sister.
His sister. So I don't know. To me, initially, I was like, oh, I don't know about this, but at the end, when they're all just fucking beating down Buddy, like tied up in the ropes, all four of his family members just taking shots. I was like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah, fucking kendo stick party. I was down for it. And be careful what you say on the show here, Brian, because Vince is gonna hear you and go, oh, he's gonna date his sister. I love that story. Let's do that next. Let's do it. God damn it. Hey, big props to Dominic. In all seriousness, that sunset flip into the table that he did when he went from slid under the bot, that was fire. Straight fucking fire.
And I did enjoy that move too. And while right before it, because you could see Buddy Murphy left the ring to go look for whatever he was going for under the ring.
Yeah.
But there was a kendo stick that was right next to him. So I'm like, why'd you leave when the kendo stick is right over there on the ring? But obviously he left so that they could set up that move. But yeah, just the way that that Dominic nailed it, was just so quick.
Yeah.
Too, like fucking Buddy Murphy left the ring and then immediately he slides out head first. Hits him with the sunset flip powerbomb into the table. It was great.
He was trying to find a fire extinguisher. That's what it was.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Absolutely what it was.
Probably.
Okay. So we're 2/3 party tonight, so this might not be as long a show as we normally do, because Adam can fucking bloviate, man. That dude, Adam can go and go and go and. What was your point? Well, fuck your point. Here's my point.
Yeah.
I do want to take this moment to let you know. If you're in the mornings, if you're like me, you got to get up early, do a corporate job, and you're kind of tired, and you got to get a good kickstart going. What I do in the morning is I have some of Cesaro's coffee. Sorry, Claudio's coffee.
There you go.
I go to legalspeed.com/Claudio's Cafe. I put in the promo code marked out 15. I get 15% off of this Legal Speed coffee. And let me tell you what, here's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Breaking kayfabe. I route trucks all over this country for a multinational snack company, right? That's what I do for a living, real time.
Love snacks.
Right, snacks are great. And My email box is, I run through 4,000 emails a day. It is in fucking insanity. And that's on top of plotting out my routes, booking my carriers. You know, my job is I never eat lunch. Never. I start working at 7 a.m. I don't get done until 6 p.m. I eat as I go. It's a fucking massive job. I need something to keep me going. And fucking that Legal Speed Coffee, Claudio's Cafe, that shit has me rolling, Brian. Has me rolling, bro. All pun intended.
It does. And I just want to correct you. It's actually legalspeed.coffee/Claudio's Cafe.
Oh, thank you.
That's where you can find. Yes, that's where you can find
Legal Speed Coffee.
It is phenomenal. Yeah. I fucking went through my bag super quick. I drink it. I was drinking every day. Now I'm drinking some other kind of swill, but that stuff compared to what I'm drinking now.
And you know what you can do?
I miss my Claudio's Cafe. I need to get another bag.
You know what you can do too? You can always, if you want to get another bag, you can do it again. Marked out 15% off every fucking time.
I should.
Every fucking time. And then get your coffee and then go to fucking collarandelbowbrand.com, get yourself some sweatpants, right? You like sweatpants. We don't know.
I do. They actually just came out with a lot of new gear too. So go check that out. Collarandelbowbrand.com.
Yeah.
Discount code MARKOUT. You get 10% off on your order.
10%.
Your whole. I need to get some new clothes. Actually, I've been wearing the same fucking things for years now.
Yeah, we were talking before the show. Brian literally has just not left his property since COVID started. He just,
it's almost true.
Me and my family have slowly ventured out a little bit more and more, always being safe. But Brian is like, not going anywhere.
I don't trust any of you motherfuckers.
Let's Raw's done, right? We're done with Raw. Yeah. Let's talk about Matt Hardy.
Oh boy.
From All Out. And so Brian, you're more in the know on the deets when it comes to AEW inside stuff, right? You've got the connects, right?
Sort
of. My angle from a fan, just a fan, and I want you to fill in any blanks that maybe I don't know. As a fan, I see a match, right? I see Matt Hardy hit a table, his head flaps back, whacks into the fucking concrete. Clear as day. Not gimmicked, not fucking kayfabe. I mean, just straight fucking happened. And then I see a guy stand up and try to walk and can't. I see him swinging at air. Obviously concussed. I don't care. And then we get, Tony Khan says, we passed concussion protocol, so we restarted the match. My eyes work, right?
Yeah.
I wear glasses to help me, read, but they work. I saw a man get concussed. I have been concussed. When you cannot physically walk a step without falling, you are concussed. So tell me what I'm missing here, Brian.
Dude, you're not missing anything. I mean, we all saw it too. And the fact also is that when Aubrey stopped the match, when she threw up the X, I mean, the commentators were talking, I don't know. I mean, maybe it was a couple minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. So, I mean, it's not like they took him out. It's not like the NFL, for example, where they'll take a player out and put him in concussion protocol, put him in that weird little white tent that they have on the sideline, actually give tests or do whatever they have to do to figure out if the guy's fucked up. But like you said, I mean, we saw him hit his head, be out for a few minutes. I mean, that's a concussion right there. There's no denying it. And now Tony came out and said that, he went to the hospital and they ran tests and Matt's going to be okay. But I mean, his wife is saying that a completely different story. But Matt actually came out today and said, and he tweeted that he is going to be on Dynamite this week. So we're going to hear from him, which is insane. I doubt he's not going to wrestle. There's no way. But
to be a fly on the wall when he walked into his home, I wish I could be.
Dude, she probably was so fucking pissed.
And fucking justified at that.
Yeah.
Look, man, AEW, I'm just going to be honest with you for a minute. First off, I'm mad that Jericho, for some reason, blocked me from Twitter. I don't understand what I did to him.
What is that about?
I have no idea. Maybe I said something in the past. I don't know. Maybe I said, you and Kevin Owens are assholes. I don't know. But look, you're coming in and you're playing the righteous card. You debuted on the righteous card. We're going to be good to the talent. We're going to let them be creative. We're going to give them security and financial security and health security, and we're going to be family oriented. We're going to do all these things that people have been saying WWE deprives the talent of. We're going to do all these things. We are going to be the white knight riding in to save all those who need saving. That was your gimmick. That is what sold you to us, was that you were going to be different. You are going to have compassion, empathy. And then you turn around. And I don't want to take this one thing and condemn and damn the entire promotion because of the one thing. Mistakes are made everywhere. But this is a pretty blatant fucking mistake.
But yeah, blatant, and I mean live on pay-per-view. It's definitely not a good look at all.
No, it's not. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's like, oh, we're gonna bring these indie guys in to, we're gonna showcase these indie guys by squashing them, and then we're going to observe the, we're gonna be woke, but we're gonna bring back these people after a month after they do these violations, and then we're gonna respect people's health, and we're gonna look for concussions, and then you take one of the greatest wrestling legends of the past 30 years. And you flaunt him the way you did.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying that, well, Matt's a veteran. He's got 25 plus years in the business. Okay, fine, that's true. But when a guy is concussed like that and not in like the right state of mind, he's not the one to be making the decision. The doctor, I think his name is Dr. Sampson, right? With AEW, he's the one that should have been the one that said, no, he's definitely not good to compete. And I know people are going to say, well, when he did come back, it's not like they really did anything when they restarted the match. They went basically right to the finish, where they just kind of brawled and then went over to the whatever it was, a scaffold, whatever they climbed, and then pushed Sammy off. That's it. 1, 2, 3, or not even 1, 2, 3. That he couldn't get up. So I know Matt didn't take any blows. There was nothing like that, but still, he shouldn't have been out there. And the main thing is that they should have been protecting him from himself. Like you see that a lot in MMA, where guys can't protect themselves. They can't keep fighting, so the ref will call it. Maybe the guy can get up, he can keep walking and stuff, but it's not in his best interest, in his short-term or long-term health, to keep going. So it was just, they handled that very poorly. And I mean, it's weird. Like, they keep working these real situations into their stories. I mean, specifically with Matt Hardy. I'm really curious to see how they're going to handle it. Like, if I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen on Wednesday.
Here's 3 things I'm taking from what you just said, right? The first thing is, as somebody, you are somebody, and I don't know if we ever posted, if we have, but you are somebody who has been in a match and has been concussed. And the stories you always tell is that you don't remember the last 90% of that match.
I don't remember. It happened right in the beginning. Actually, I think Will Wagner might have been there. Will on the board, he might have been there.
So there you go. So to say, he didn't do much. I'm not jumping on you, Brian. I'm just saying in general that he didn't take many strikes or bumps or whatever after the fact. He climbed a scaffolding. If there's a guy who's out of his mind, and I mean this literally, out of his mind, if he is not there and he's just going through the motions, that's not something I would do, is say, hey, climb this, make sure your footing's okay. So there's one. Number 2, people say, oh, Matt's been doing it for 20 years. That's more of a reason to fucking get him away from there. Right? That's more, true. He's more fragile than somebody who's just been, some young kid who's, Sonny Kiss, it's, in great shape and is fresh in their career. Matt's fragile. The guy he can't even sit up all the way without rotating his whole body over. I mean, that's a fact. And then let me just quote this from the Andrew Young tweet that I said earlier. I grew up a wrestling fan, and it has been sad to see so many of my childhood heroes pass away early.
It's true.
I mean, are we going to be sitting here in 10, 15, 20 years when Matt Hardy's in his 50s, 60s, and he passes early? I mean, I don't want that.
No, definitely not. No, nobody does. But I do feel like that's kind of changing though. Like the old like all the Hogan, Flair era guys, like all those guys, they would party and stuff. I feel like it's changed a little bit. People are a lot more kind of conscious of
yeah,
health and mind and body and stuff.
But
Matt Hardy, I mean, he's one of the last ones. He was from the Attitude Era. They all partied and stuff, and obviously he's had his issues in the past. He seems to have it under control now. But
yeah, it takes one time, Brian. Your brain is your brain is an organic computer. This has always been my argument with people about religion. You know, your brain is an organic computer. If I take my hard drive and it drops on the floor too hard, that information is going to be corrupted. That drive is going to be damaged, and that computer, if it works, will never work the same, or maybe it just won't work at all. Right? It takes one good bump,
sure,
for your personal brain computer to be damaged forever.
Bret Hart,
absolutely. I mean, so I don't want to. I'm still an AEW fan. I have a lot of criticisms about some of the things they're doing. I think this was a fucking huge miss. Just as a fan. What's the board? Anybody say anything on the board?
Yeah, Will's just saying about Matt Hardy. He's just saying you don't get good at concussions. Like you can't get good at taking those types of bumps and hits. Like it's going to catch up to you.
Yeah.
And then Stike is saying that that thing with I think Matt and Sammy was climbing was the that AEW version of Shane McMahon and Steve Blackman from SummerSlam 2000. Yeah, it wasn't quite as high though. Those guys were up there.
Yeah, but it's still a scaffolding. You still lose your footing. You go down the wrong way. You bang, 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 bang all the way down. I mean, it's still plenty of fucking risk there. I mean, crash pad or not, you know. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not okay with it.
No, me neither. And I'm gonna actually keep seeing, keep looking at his wife's Reby Hardy or Rebby Hardy. I don't know how to say her name. Her Twitter, just to see any kind of updates and stuff, because that's where I feel like I'm gonna get, if there's gonna be any kind of truth, I feel like it's gonna be from her Twitter. But
yeah,
who knows?
All right, so I think we pretty much covered everything tonight. I want to invite you all to join us, hopefully on a correctly labeled video on YouTube Live. Join us all Wednesday night, as we are going to do our Who Won Wednesday, but a twisted version where we're going to compare Tuesday, Super Tuesday from NXT, with Wednesday Dynamite, as we would if they were both on the same show. I personally think this is NXT's slow game way to move themselves to Tuesday nights. We've had that conversation. We don't need to have it again. But so we're going to do that Wednesday night. Hopefully Adam will be in good health and will join us. Hopefully his vertigo has pulled down. I'm somebody who has suffered through that. It can be a fucking experience that I wish on nobody. And please, if you are on the podcast on Podbean or iTunes or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're at, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe and you rate and review us. You know, leave a comment on there. Say, hey, we love these guys for this reason, or we fucking hate these guys for this reason. Whatever. Just I prefer the former, but if you got to do the latter, do whatever. And if you're on YouTube, please make sure you hit that little button that says subscribe and that little bell so you know when we go on the air for all of our shows and all of our content. And finally, just a little plug for our Patreon. We should have our pay-per-view reactions for All Out coming up here any day now. So please make sure you go to patreon.com/MOWP. And we have 5 tiers there. We have 3 tiers there. $5 tier, $10 tier, and a $20 tier, I think. And the $5 tier gets you the pay-per-view reactions. $10 gets you our watch-alongs as well, where we do random matches from the past, and we just kind of fucking watch along and do what we do. They're fun. I think you'll enjoy them. And if you do the $20,
those are actually going to be up tomorrow. The all-out ones.
Okay, cool.
Got them ready to go.
And if you choose to do our $20 tier, which we hope you do, not only are we going to give you a T-shirt from Marked Out Gear as a thank you, but you're going to get to see all of our content, including content we put up that is not wrestling related. Just some shit like, hey, let's do this. Let's do it. So we invite you. That's patreon.com/MOWP. So that's what we got going on. Obviously back here next Monday to discuss the brand versus brand invitational and everything that goes down with that. Hopefully we get some good wrestling next Monday. Hopefully we get some storylines. I'm not gonna bet my house on it. And I don't even own a house.
Hopefully we do. I'm hoping. I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anything on the board before we say goodnight?
Well, Perfect 11 brought up a good question. He asks, why do you guys have a Pornhub link? Because we're on Pornhub.
Because we're on
Marked Out Wrestling on Pornhub. We're the first pro wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
Yes. So. We have shows on Pornhub. It's true. It's damn true. So you can go there, and then you can, when you get done with our video, you can just click the next link and do whatever you got to do, bro. You know?
Yeah. If you like feet, there's probably a link for you.
Yeah. I mean, they got all kinds of shit on there. I mean,
right.
Maybe the Karrion Kross one's up. I don't know.
Okay.
Go watch.
I haven't seen that. Is that real? I've heard rumors.
I don't know.
I don't know.
They can go watch Mr. Marcus and Jasmine Webb. I don't know. I don't know how I know these names.
Great.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Lexington
watch.
Steel.
Yeah, Lexington Steel. Not yeah.
I like this. Will Wagner, Marked Out Podcast, always working stiff.
Hey. I love that. All right. So, I want to close the show on a personal note, if I may for a moment. As a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, now been out for 20 years, and my wife is a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and I absolutely believe everything that has been reported by multiple sources about Donald Trump and what he said. And if you do not, then you have not been paying attention to what he has been saying for years. And so I'm just going to say, as I close this show out, that man is a disgrace. And if you vote for him, you need to check your moral compass. That's all I'm going to say about it. On behalf of Brian and the non-existent Adam Bomb, we ask you to please always continue to wear your mask when you go out. There is still a pandemic. We ask you to wash your hands. If your grandma's been home by herself, quarantining like Brian has, give her a call. I'm sure she would love to talk to you right now. Do it tomorrow, right?
It's true.
Do it tomorrow. Do it. Don't wake her up. They go to bed at like 6. Don't do that. But most importantly, if you're a wrestling fan, mark out like no one's watching.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Marked Out Podcast is produced and edited by YouRecord Studios and is recorded live from Charlotte, North Carolina. Subscribe, follow, and listen to us live following WWE programming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Download the podcast by following us at podbean.com or subscribe on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. While you're there, go ahead and give us an honest and fair review and rating. Finally, if you have enjoyed our product and would like to see us grow, please donate to us by visiting the donation link below our live video, or you can donate via Venmo and Cash App at the handle Ravepro. That's RAVEPRO.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.